Podcast Network. The following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Defy Life Podcast. I'm J.R. Glint, joined as always by my wonderful co-host, Thomas Stephens. How is it going today, sir?
Going well. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Welcome back, y'all. We miss y'all. Life been lifing,
Yeah.
and it's the last time we recorded. I moved into a new house. Pooh's moved into a new house, and some major life stuff happened. I had a stroke.
Right.
So if you notice, some words are kind of slurred. That's why.
Mhm.
But
See.
I'm getting back to it. I'm
Yes,
improving
sir.
every day. So, well, we miss y'all. So,
No doubt.
Al is out saving the world.
Like always. Yeah.
One Nissan Altima at a time.
Right.
Oh, we miss you, Al. We'll talk to you next week.
No doubt.
But yeah, man, what's been up though? How you been?
Man, you know me, getting how I live. You know, like you say, life been life. You know, 1 second, 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day at a time.
Yeah. How's the new crib?
Oh, it's dope, man. I'm really enjoying it. Everything's love. You know, got blessed with a little song, man. Hey, appreciate it. God is good, man.
No doubt, no doubt. Same here, man. Loving it this way. I can't wait to come check it out.
No doubt, same here.
I actually be down that way May 10th
Okay.
in Newberry. So I'll
Okay.
check it out. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I've been meaning to tell you on when we talk. I forget.
Mhm.
So I tell everybody.
Mhm.
So yeah, be
Yeah,
down.
I'll be here. Okay. That's what's up.
Yeah, man. So we are in the midst of March Madness and the draft is rolling up on us.
Yes, sir.
I mean, my Dukie's in the Final Four. I
Yeah.
ain't seen your Tigers since a few weeks ago.
Man, I don't know. I was all amped for it, man. And yeah, we beat Duke and we don't know 5 games but I knew it. I had that feeling, we were gonna be one and done. I had that feeling.
They tried to put it.
Yeah. I was like, man. I'm watching and I'm at work and next thing I know it pops up on my screen, upset of, check in, might be upset. And I was like, oh, flimsy.
Well, like I said, Duke is still in it, facing off against Houston, and in game 1 of the men's Final Four, we have Florida against Auburn, and all number 1 seeds.
Yeah.
Who you like in Florida and Auburn?
Man, that's tough. They know each other, of course. Both SEC teams. I don't know. I can only assume that Auburn has has the edge. But if I'm not mistaken, did Auburn win the SEC championship? Or was that Tennessee? Who won the championship? I don't know. I don't think Florida won.
I think Tennessee won.
Yeah, I think Tennessee won it. But anyway, I'm going with Auburn. Going with Auburn. Don't even know why. I don't even watch.
Right.
Even watch back. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with Florida just because I
Okay.
know it's a guard-driven game in college,
Mhm.
and their guards are dominant. So,
Okay.
yeah. Who you like in Houston and Duke?
I like Houston. I haven't seen them up there in a while. However, I'm going with Cooper Flag and the guys, man. I really like their inside. I like the outside. But I like the D.
Yeah.
I like their inside D, and I love the rebounding.
Yeah.
That center, he races a lot. Those guys are long. They're athletic. Not saying that Houston's not, but the Duke can shoot as well. So I'm going to lean with Duke.
Yeah, of course I agree. But Duke's defense and their length, like you said, and they're just as athletic. But they're the tallest team in college basketball.
Mm.
Um, when a 7'2" center
Yeah.
who he can shoot off on guards. Like,
Yeah, he's athletic. Yeah, he is.
so yeah, I'm with you on it. And they're gonna be hard to beat.
Yeah. Yeah. Then when you have that dominant player, consistent number one pick, a kid where you can throw it to us and get us a bucket.
Go
I'll
get
us
one.
two.
Right.
I'll get us 2 and 3 and 4 more. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah. But yeah, that'll be on Saturday. For the women's, South Carolina against Texas
Mm.
and UCLA and UConn.
Okay.
On Friday. Who you like, Gamecocks or Longhorn?
I'm gonna go with the Gamecocks. If I'm not mistaken, they split the series, during the regular season,
yeah.
and then Carolina won the ACC championship.
Right.
But I just think that they didn't play well. Carolina didn't play well last week. However, they found a way to win. But I'm going with Carolina.
Yeah, I agree. I think we've gotten spoiled in past years by Carolina as how dominant they were. And they always had that one dominant big player. They're not that team anymore.
Right.
So, they beat you now in waves and with that depth. I think across the board, they're just more talented.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Like the LSU coach said, you can go 10 deep with McDonald's All-American.
Yeah.
Can you do with that? If you're not, you UConn.
Right. Somebody gonna be hot.
Right. That's right.
All right.
Right.
Speaking of UConn, who you like, them or UCLA?
Man, UCLA is long. I don't know. That defense is smothering. They're extremely long. What the girl named the center, Betts or whatever, she's big. However, she plays small when she brings the ball down. I guess once she, plays more and more, she gonna learn to keep that ball up high,
Right.
and keep the trash from knocking it away. However, UConn, the bucket's gonna get buckets. Page B gonna get buckets.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's a tough one. I lean UConn just because, again, they got that one player.
Mm-hmm.
You say, hey, go get me one.
Mm-hmm.
Or go get us 40. She can do
it.
She
can do it. You can do it.
So, I'm excited for both these games. So.
Mm-hmm. And I really hate we didn't get to see Jew.
Yeah.
With a chance to go to the ship. I really hate that, but that's the breaks though. But that's
part of it.
It's tough. Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully she bounces back and she's just as strong as ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll look forward to that on Friday. So we'll see. Moving to the draft. Who do you think are your most overrated offensive prospects?
Overrated offensive prospect. Man. And he's not really, he's just moving up the draft board so high. And it's the kid, Omarion Hampton.
Yeah.
I do like him. I like his size, and I like his speed, but by them saying it's not that much of a gap between he and Ashton Genty.
Yeah.
I just don't get me wrong, he's good. But for them to be hyping up to say he's, A, and I mean he's 180 and Genty's 80, I just don't see it being that close. Because I think he's a first round back. Yeah, but by them saying Genty and Hampton are splitting hairs, I don't see that.
Yeah,
I don't see that.
Jency is an alien, man.
Yeah, and I went and watched film. Like once
Mhm.
they started the hype them up, I went and watched film. I watched footwork. I watched vision. I was Genty,
Yeah,
Genty.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? He's Genty.
yeah. I mean, I agree. Hampton's a first round
Yeah,
prospect, but Jency's on another level.
another level, man. Yeah, 100%.
Overrated on offense to me is Jackson Dart,
Mm-hmm.
quarterback
Mm-hmm.
from Ole Miss. This happens every year
Mm-hmm.
where we get a guy they pick one guy. We send
Mm-hmm.
your boy Mitch Trubisky.
Oh, wow, man. Come on.
But it happens. They pick
Yeah.
a guy in Baltimore. So I'm going with Dart.
Mm-hmm.
Overrated on defense.
The kid, is his last name Green, from Georgia? The edge guy, 6'1". He's 6'1", but they don't know if he's gonna play edge or outside linebacker.
Oh,
What's his name? Michael Green? Is that it?
Michael.
What's his name?
Jalen Walker.
Jalen Walker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so they went and they tested him. They say he was explosive. I think the kid running 4.7. You know, I just don't. From what they're saying about him, maybe because they're saying it, I heard talks of going to the Bears, and I was like, they're gonna put him on the edge, and he's running a 4.7, and he's 6'1", 240. No, not edge 6'1", 240.
Small
Running 4.7. I was like, Then they compared him to Hassan Reddick, but Hassan Reddick had like a super fast shuttle, off the charts shuttle, like a wide receiver shuttle. He ran like a 4.4. So he wasn't Hassan. I mean, he's not Hassan Reddick, because when they were talking about him, I just assumed that he ran a 4.49, a 4.45, shuttle off the charts, had super duper bend, but I don't see it. I hope we don't draft him at 10, crying out loud. I'm not saying he's not going to be a good player,
Right.
but I don't want him up there at 10.
Yeah. That's tough. So, man, I think, it's a copycat league.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody wants like his Hassan Reddick,
Mm-hmm.
Michael Parsons.
Yeah.
It's kind of rich at 10.
Yeah. He just don't have those freak matchups.
Yeah.
Well, like those guys I just don't see the combine, the combine hero.
All right.
Yeah.
Overrated on defense. I'm gonna go. I hate to do it, but my fellow Gamecock, Nick Emmanwori.
Oh, I like the kid. Okay.
I think he's a first round talent.
Okay.
But people starting to, especially as the combine, people starting to push him up to, ahead of Malachi Starks into the top 15.
Yeah, first safety on the board. Yeah.
I ain't buying it.
Okay.
I love Nick. And I'd be happy to have him after pick 20.
Okay.
But early first round is too rich for me.
Yeah, I saw a mock where we traded back to like 14 and took him.
Yeah.
I thought that was, high as well.
Yeah.
But I like him as well though. I like him.
And the draft is about traits and potential, but
right.
the production doesn't match.
Right.
Who's your most underrated on offense?
Offense? Man, that's easy for me. I've been thinking about this all day in the car. Shedeur Sanders. I just think they're just hovering over him with the microscope in there. He's not this, he's not that, he's not. We only see him win and play well and catapult programs.
Right.
I mean, he can only be good as the O-line, good as the O-line around him or the talent around him. But to me, he's a player. And for him to say they dropping all the way to 21 or 20 for
I'll
two
take it.
guys, that's
I'll take it.
insane.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? These guys passing on a quarterback that really need a quarterback. And he's he's a really good player. I mean, to me, I mean, he has better tape than Willis when Willis came out, and Richardson when Richardson came out, and Daniel Jones when Daniel Jones came out, Will Levis when Will Levis came out. Like, I don't get it, bro.
Absolutely. But again, this happens every year in the opposite way.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're being honest,
Shit, Mitchell Trubisky when Mitchell Trubisky came out.
right?
But go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, it's a turnover. If we're being honest, we know why.
Of course.
Same reason they don't like his daddy. It's a confident black man
Mm-hmm.
in a potential position to hold power.
Right.
You're gonna be looked at as something ain't right.
Right. And I like Drake May, but Drake May's film doesn't look,
No, there wasn't.
I don't get it.
And he didn't win near as
And he didn't win. No.
Right.
With
talent. Right.
With talent.
Yeah.
Up and down the field. But whack.
Yeah, I agree. Underrated offense for me, I'm old Kyle Williams, wide receiver from Washington State. He's quick, about 6 feet, about 190.
Mm-hmm.
But you see his footwork on his route, like get-offs off the line, amazing.
Okay.
He's raw, drops too many passes, so he in the first round.
Okay.
But I've seen this stock anywhere from second to fourth, fifth round.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a play. If he gets in the right system with the right coaching, he's gonna hit.
Okay.
But yeah, I like Kyle Williams.
Okay.
And another is Tennessee wide receiver Dante Thornton.
Mm-hmm.
About 6, about 200.
Wow.
Ran like a 4.3 at the combine.
Okay.
Not a lot of production, but he led the team in receiving this year. 26 yards a catch.
Okay.
Like, he's just a deep vet.
Okay.
Right now, he's a one-trick pony. Damn, that one trick is good. So, that's my two. Who's your most underrated on defense?
Underrated on D. Underrated on D. And I don't want to be so cliche with it. And I'm only saying this because last year I just didn't believe that Hutchinson was just going to pan out. He just didn't look that athletic. He just didn't really look that strong. All we could say is, man, his motor's huge.
Right.
But I just think that Graham is really going to be better than what we even think.
Mason Graham?
Mason Graham. Because he doesn't look athletic. He doesn't look strong. He just make, ridiculous. He just make plays. You know what I'm saying? But and let me go. And I just want to say, and I know these guys are really good already, but I also want to say Travis Hunter because everyone's saying that hey, you know what? I'll draft my player at receiver. He's more dynamic at receiver. That's all I ever heard.
Yeah.
I ever heard anyone say, hey, we're going to play him at corner. Or I heard everybody say, people say, hey, we're going to draft him, play at receiver, let him play some at corner. But I and they're saying that he's the third best corner in the draft. You know, I don't get it, bro. You know, I just think he's a star, bro. I think he's a star at corner. Not saying he's not a star receiver, but I think he's an absolute stud at corner.
Yeah, and corners are more valued position than receiver. So if you can get him as a full-time corner, dabble at receiver.
Dabble at receiver, right.
I'm doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Underrated on defense, man. I'm gonna go our hometown boy's son, Jamari Caldwell.
Oh, okay.
People are starting to hear more. But when you look for 2 now run stuffers, he's not going to be a first rounder. But what he does is damn good. He eats up blocks. It takes 4 hands on that every play. And he's got some wiggle. You know, right now, maybe 3rd round. Better than the 5th round we were here.
Okay.
I think 3rd round, if you need a big body in the middle.
Okay. What is like, what is 6'1", 310 or something like that?
6'2", 335.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he did before he transferred to Oregon. At Houston, he had 6.5 sacks, I think. At Oregon, he played the nose.
Okay.
Yeah. I like him.
Okay. What's the deal with the kid from Florida?
The big dude?
400. Yeah. I didn't look at any film on him. I just, like 400 pounds, 6'3",
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah. Like 6'3", like 410, 420. He's okay. He's just he got to drop some weight.
Gotta drop weight.
Yeah, because you can't play, more than 2 steps at that point. So, I mean, if somebody can get him down to 350, that may work. But he'd be a decent project for somebody. So we'll see. But I don't think he'll get drafted.
You don't think he'll get drafted?
Nah, if he do, it'll be late. There's somebody saying, if somebody says, "Hey, we want to make sure we get him," versus just trying to sign him. But at this point, 400 pounds.
Yeah.
I can't think of an NFL player who was successful at 400.
Right. What about the kid from the DN from A&M that athleticism jumped off the chart and comparing his measurables to?
Nick Scott or
not Stewart, nigga Stewart, something Stewart.
Shamar Stewart.
Shamar Stewart. He said he ran like a 4.4 and 6'5" and 38-inch vertical.
He's the king of measure. 0 production. But the thing about him, I think that the last 500 draftable defensive ends over the last 10 years, he's 15th from the bottom in production.
That's crazy.
Right.
And they're saying first round for that kid.
Just he's toolsy. He, speed, length, but he don't finish sacks. I think he had less than 5 sacks.
Yeah, I think they say he had like 5 his career. It's something crazy like that. His measurables and everything remind me of that kid from Penn State.
Abdul Carter.
Then the Bills drafted him?
Oh, last year?
No, the Bills a few years ago. Or maybe the Bills signed him or something, and we picked their V's about it, but he did nothing. He was a freak of nature.
Oh,
I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
I
I forgot
can't
his
remember
name.
his name, but he was a stud.
Yeah.
He was a stud. What about is Tyree Wilson? Is he still in the league? He was a freak.
Yeah, he was hurt last year.
He was hurt? Okay.
For the Raiders.
Mhm.
But I can't, I hope somebody draft him before us, because then it push somebody else down.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Mm.
and I'm big on silly,
Okay. For sure.
but I'm also big on production,
Okay.
especially as an edge rusher.
Mm-hmm.
Production translates.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the old saying is, I think Bill Parcells said it. If he don't bite as a puppy, he ain't gonna bite as a dog.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I like that.
yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. These are the times I'm mad I can't talk like I want to, because I love that saying.
Mhm.
But it's
Yeah.
true. And ain't many players that were unproductive in college and get to the NFL to become productive.
You're right.
So we'll see. But I'm glad we don't need an edge rusher, because I don't want
Right. Yeah. We need one, but I don't want him.
right.
I don't want him.
Speaking of what y'all need, Chicago,
Mhm.
the Bears, what's the best case scenario for you guys in the draft?
I was fighting with this because everyone's crying left tackle, and if we get Ashton Genty, it'll be the worst thing in the world. But as I look and watch film, and I want Ashton Genty.
Mm.
I do. If he falls, I definitely would love to trade back and acquire an additional second round pick. But I want Ashton Genty. Ashton Genty, Mason Graham. Mason Graham, I think he's definitely gonna go before Ashton. I don't think Graham will get to us, but I want Ashton Genty.
Okay. 10.
10. I
He might
know
be there.
he might be there if he gets past the Raiders. Because I was thinking they were gonna go quarterback, but bro, that news came in when they gave Geno a 2-year extension.
Yeah.
I don't see them going QB.
On
They're
the
not going QB.
and
$56 million.
yeah, I saw that.
They're not going QB, bro.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think, who else before y'all?
I can't see anyone else going back before us.
Unless somebody trade. The only thing I'm thinking is
Jump
somebody
ahead of
trade
us.
up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But the Giants ain't gonna take him at 3.
No.
That's too high for a running back.
That's too rich. Jacksonville, I don't think they're gonna take him at 5.
No.
They need a lot of help everywhere. They're probably gonna go O-line.
Yeah. Or if the Cowboys try to jump ahead of you from 12 and go up. But yeah, I mean, and I would love it for y'all. I'm just a big believer that your offensive line sets your floor as a running game, and your running back sets your ceiling. And I think y'all's floor is pretty decent with the additions on the line. So
Correct.
I can see that, yeah. What do you think the worst case scenario would? Really, not drafting Trubisky again.
Worst case scenario, I don't mind us drafting What the kid named Will Campbell. I don't mind that. When I saw them drafting the Stewart kid, when I saw that mock, I just think it's too risky. Even if we trade back and draft them at 15 or 21, because I saw a mock where you guys we traded with you guys and traded back. That's still, I don't want to take that chance. I want to get someone. If that's the case, then go ahead and draft Tyler Warren. I think he's an absolute stud. So worst case scenario is drafting that kid, that kid or that kid from Georgia.
Walker.
That's the 210 pounds edge rusher.
Yeah, they run a 5'1".
Yeah.
Yeah. Yo, can you imagine somebody 210 and a 5'1" line up at edge?
That edge. That edge. That's crazy work.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That kid out that edge. That's the wild.
You wild. Wow.
I don't want them kids. Anyone else, man, I can deal with. I don't want them kids at all.
So what would be a surprise name and someone no one's thinking about? As a position no one's thinking about that you see y'all taking?
For us? Position no one would see us taking. A surprise. We pretty much we can use everything, but I would say probably the kid from Michigan, the cornerback. What's his name?
Will Johnson.
Will Johnson.
Yeah.
Will Johnson.
Man, I've seen some mocks have him fall to us. If he's available for us,
right,
I'm running to the
right. Not even gonna go on the clock.
Right.
What clock? Yeah.
Like, Roger Goodell gonna read. It's still like what the
right.
Will Johnson. Right. But yeah, if he fall, I'm all over.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, he's a stud. He's a stud. And he's a stud. But I do like our corners. They gave Stevenson a bad rap, man, but he played ever since he had that bonehead play.
Yeah.
Well, he turned the Redskins and the ball, the receiver running down the field, and he pointing us in the crowd. The kid think about, but
taking selfies,
yeah, man. But he is a really good player, though.
Yeah.
But if he's our fourth corner, because we got Kyle Gordon, he's probably one of the top 3 nickels in the game.
Yeah.
So, and we have an all-pro, and Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be extremely formidable, in that secondary.
Right. Cool, man. Well, how now here? It's a short show. Yeah. How we yapping anyway.
Cowboy does just that. Yankee does. Yeah.
We got Justin, y'all don't.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, man.
Yeah. With that being said, though, I do think I really was excited with what I heard Aaron Glenn say about Justin. We all let him play football.
Right.
I've seen him 4 times.
Yeah.
He's a damn good player. We gotta let him play football. Yeah.
I think he's like, I hate to see him leave Pittsburgh.
Right.
But for that organization, for the Jets, I think it fits.
Okay.
Because I think where the Steelers are and want to be and realistically can be sooner than the Jets, Justin is just good enough to keep us at 10-7. Lincoln thinks he can be a franchise quarterback and be the next Mahomes. I don't. I think he's really good.
Yeah.
He's just good enough to keep you at 10-7
Mm.
and one and done in the playoffs.
Mm.
So I hate to see him go, but I think we needed to take that step back to get the guy.
Okay.
Otherwise, we'll be in this position for the next 10 years.
Okay.
But for the Jets, I like it. It's it's you're not shooting to win a Super Bowl. You know, you let him play football.
Yeah, put some butts in some seats, win some games. Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, of course, yeah, it sucks now that we ain't got no quarterback.
Right. Right.
But I mean, never been there, but I wouldn't mind taking, not trying to, but shit, we go 6-11 and we get a top 10 pick, so be it, man. We got to get that guy. And picking that 21 every year is not going to do it. You know? So
it said that you guys offered a pretty good deal for Joe Milton, but they didn't want Joe in the AFC.
yeah,
You guys, 3 other teams too. I can't remember who they were, but it was 3
Eagles.
AFC teams, and 2 NFC teams.
Yeah.
And they said no to all the AFC teams off top, but all of them was better deals than the Cowboys.
Right, and I get it. And as the Patriots, they ain't gonna give us nothing. So yeah, I get it.
It has potential too.
Yeah. And I mean, I know Steelers fans are frustrated with the quarterback position, but it's not for lack of trying. Since Ben retired, Kenny Pickett didn't work out. Trubisky didn't work out. Dwayne Haskins died. I mean, they trying. And I mean, it sucks, but it's only been 3 years. I think we forget that span between Bradshaw and Ben. That's 20 years. It wasn't easy. And it wasn't pretty. So, yeah, man. Trust the process.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, man. Anything you want to get off your chest? Important shots before you leave?
Important shots, man. My baby girl birthday tomorrow. I just want to say happy 12th birthday, Cooper Ray. Love you, sweetie. That's all I want to say.
Happy birthday, Coop. Man, 12 already.
Already, man.
Getting old.
Getting old, bro. Getting old, man.
Got your shotgun.
Right? I'm getting old.
Right. Yeah. Happy birthday, Coop. I mean, I know we'll talk about it moving forward, but we got 2 young men about to graduate.
Yeah.
And speaking of time flying, man, shout out to, my son, Danian, and your son, Carter.
No doubt.
Proud of both of them, man. I'm excited to see what their future holds.
No doubt. Same here, bro.
Yeah. But again, shout out to Al. We miss you tonight. We'll talk to you next week. But yeah, man. We'll talk to you on next week. Until then, Defy life.
Defy life. Peace.
Peace.